We have some interesting news to get to today. Let's start with the Bloomberg factor. You got to take this guy seriously, folks. There's a real possibility here that if he will not himself be the Democrat nominee, he is shaking up this race. I'm a little bummed about it, to be honest with you, because I really want Bernie to be the candidate. I think we're much better off if Bernie Sanders is the guy. I want there to be a socialism versus capitalism choice in the 2020 election. And I want the Democratic Party, which has been playing footsie with the left for a long time now. They've been toying with this. They've been, with the far left, with socialism, open socialism. I want them to have to accept that reality, to have to defend that position. They're no longer be in a place where they feel like they can pretend that they're not a socialist party, because they are a socialist party. So that's my first sense of why Bloomberg getting involved is a little bit of a disappointment for me, because he's a liberal, but he's the in a sense the ultimate establishment liberal, not of the political establishment, but of the elites. I mean, how do you get more elite than being the former mayor of the biggest city, I think 3-term mayor of the biggest city in the country? That's the bluest, biggest city in the center of so much Democrat Party activism and power. Maybe it's not technically the bluest by percentage, but you know what I'm saying. The center of gravity of much of the Democratic Party is here in New York City. The guy's worth, let's call it $50 billion. I keep hearing different. I don't think anyone can really, because it's a private company. The sale of a private company is a difficult thing at that level to really estimate. I mean, who would be the buyer for it? But he's got his own media entity, Bloomberg News. It's very well funded. And he's just changing things up. But he's as much an elite establishment figure as you could find anywhere. And he is going to be fighting a war against Bernie Sanders internally in the Democratic Party. That's what's happening. Now, there's some interesting things that came out of the weekend about Bloomberg, and he's certainly someone we'll be talking about. The basic strategy that he's engaged in also makes a lot of sense to me, because you have these candidates who are fighting it out with each other for winning these early states. So we've already had Iowa, the debacle in Iowa. Does the app work? And then we've had New Hampshire. We're about to have Nevada this weekend. Then we have South Carolina, which is Joe Biden's firewall. That's where he's supposed to have a really strong showing. And then you get to Super Tuesday when you have all these huge states, a whole bunch of them all at once, deciding who the Democrat nominee should be. Bloomberg is just going for Super Tuesday. He's not messing with any of this early stuff. And he's assuming that he's going to be able to just buy. He already has really bought enough attention for himself that he's a national third-place finisher in a lot of the polls, which is pretty astonishing. And he's assuming that he can just launch to the front of the pack on Super Tuesday when states like California, for example, decide who their primary victor will be, or how many, depending on some states, you get a proportional number of delegates. All these different rules. So Bloomberg is somebody we have to take seriously. And he's able to buy some of the best in the game. He can pay so much more. He will pay so much more than other people that the old rules about... See, what Trump was able to do was find a way to essentially harness media narrative and attention using little to no money. And, that was his special skill. Trump came along and it was... I'm going to dominate the news cycle. I'm going to be so different and charismatic and energetic when I do these live events that even CNN will just run my events live on their air for free because people want to see it. Trump understood the entertainment value that he brings. He understood that politics is increasingly spectacle. You think about what a presidential contest would have been like 100 years ago. People didn't even really know what the president looked like. Hey, Team Buck, thank you so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you like this video, please click that little thumbs up button so then it will log as liked. And also, if you want to see more great content from The First, please click subscribe.